In this video, I will walk you through the basic features of the PCset software for your Reiner JetStamp 990 handheld inkjet printer. If you have more in-depth questions once you've followed along with this video, please let us know, and we will walk you through it live or create a new video just for you. As a quick overview, the JetStamp 990 has the ability to print 1 or 2 lines of text with a maximum of 20 characters per line, including spaces. The machine can hold up to 25 unique messages at one time, and you can scroll through the stored messages on the screen of the machine itself. This machine has a fixed text size of 1/8 of an inch, and that cannot be altered. It has the ability to print alphanumeric text only. It will not print graphics or barcodes. Black and yellow quick-drying inks are available, as well as water-based black, red, and blue. So now I'll dive into an in-depth training of the PCset software. Feel free to skip ahead to the parts that pertain to you. Make sure you have the software installed on your PC computer. This can be installed through the USB stick that comes with your printer, and it's also available for download off the Reiner website. If you need the link, we'll be happy to send it to you. Click on the Reiner PCset icon to open the software. So this is what the software looks like here. We're going to double click and open it up. The transfer icon will be grayed out if the machine is not plugged in or if there is a connection issue, as is shown now. Right here you can see that it's grayed out. It will be lit up if the machine is plugged in via USB or connected via Bluetooth, as shown now. Now you can see that the icons are lit up. Depending on what you're trying to do, you can either use the transfer icon, which is this button, or you can use the upload icon, which is this button with the little laptop, or you can go to File, Transfer Print Images, or Upload Print Images. Within the software, there are multiple ways of getting to the same outcome via icons or the menu bar. Transferring prints to your machine means that you're transferring from the software to the 990 printer. Uploading means that you're transferring what's on your machine already back to the software to make edits or save a previously transferred print so you can pull it up on your computer and transfer it back to your machine again at another time. Message storage numbers. Please look at the numbers along the top of the ruler. You will see 1 through 19. The 990 can store up to 25 unique messages at one time. If you use these arrows on the right side of the software right here, you can scroll through all the way to 25. When creating a new message, make sure to click on one of the numbers. So I'm going to click on 1. And then start the process of inputting your desired text. If you want to transfer more than one message simultaneously, click on the next number and insert your desired text again, like so. You can transfer any amount of messages, including up to all 25 messages at one time, if you pre-program them in the software prior to transferring the data to the machine. Keep in mind, when you transfer new data to the machine, it will overwrite the previous messages. Now let's discuss the icons. The first 4 picture icons are also available in the File drop-down menu as well. I'm referring to these 4 right here. Either choose File and then New, or you can simply click on this sheet of paper icon for a new imprint sheet to work with. That's just like opening a new blank document in Microsoft Word. So if you do that, please make sure to save anything that you had started to program, otherwise the information will be lost. Click on File, and then Device Settings, Date, Time, and Numberer, or I'll show you how. So you can either get to it this way, or you can click on this sheet of paper with the gear and you'll get to the same location. This will open a window that enables you to make changes to live date, live time, as well as the numbering machine function. Click File, Open, or click on the yellow file folder icon. Again, brings you to the same spot. This is going to open a window that enables you to open a previous message that you've saved and you want to pull back up at a later time to edit or retransfer to your machine. I have one right here that I had saved. You can see when I open it up that my previously saved message appears. I actually have 2 messages in here. It'll show up with a little parentheses and star if you have a message in that number imprint. Like I previously stated, if I close out of this software, I'm going to completely lose everything that I was working on. Since that's an already saved imprint, I didn't actually lose the information because I saved it at another time. But if I had just started to create a new imprint and I didn't actually save the information and I closed the software, the information would be lost. Click File, Save As, or the floppy disk icon. When you're putting in a new imprint, if you click on this, then you can save the file name, just like that. And if I go to pull it up at a later time, you'll see it here as a .rps file. In this case, I didn't actually save any information to it, but you can see it opened up and the name of the file is on the top left-hand corner of the software. When you open that file in the Reiner PCset at a later date, you can edit it or you can just retransfer the information to the machine. Now I'm going to go over the static text icon. So that is designated by this blue A right here. You can right-click on the A, and you will see a little text box open with content and font options. The content is where you will enter the text that you want to print. The font I'm going to explain in more detail now. If you choose font narrow, you can enter and print 1 or 2 lines of text with up to 20 characters, including spaces, per line. If you choose font medium, you can enter and print 1 or 2 lines of text with up to 17 characters, including spaces, per line. If you choose font bold, you can enter and print 1 or 2 lines of text with up to 10 characters, including spaces, per line. The caveat for medium and bold font is that you can only print numbers. No alpha text is possible with these 2 settings. The 990 has fixed text and font. What this means is that you can only change the alphanumeric information. However, you can't change the size of the text or the way the text looks. Even if you enter a lowercase letter, it will print in an uppercase letter. The text size is fixed at 1/8 of an inch height, or approximately a 12-point text size. There are 2 different ways to make an imprint. 1. Left-click on the A and drag and drop the A to either line 1 or line 2. You will then see a text box appear with content and font. Type in your desired text and choose your desired font. Then you're going to click OK, and the information you input should then appear in the line that you dropped the text box. As you can see here, it appears in line 1. The other option is to right-click on the A. You will also again see the text box appear with content and font. Type in the desired text and choose your desired font as well. I just entered some numbers, so I can now use medium or bold. Then hit OK. But you can see the information does not appear on the screen. Now, in order to get it to appear on the screen, you actually have to left-click on the A and drag and drop the information. And you can see that you have a more stretched out character here. When the text box is selected, it will have a red border. You can see first it's on line 2, then it's on line 1. You have that red border outline. You can move it around to align the text by clicking the text box and dragging it left or right within line 1 or 2. Usually I just leave it the way it is all the way to the left. However, sometimes I want to align them in a certain way, and in that case, you can see here, you can just drag it and it will move. So if I wanted to align it a little bit more like that, I could do that. There's one other way to get the text box to appear, and that's going to Presettings and clicking on the text. Or you can also use the command Control-T. Deleting. In order to delete some information from a line, all you have to do is right-click, and you can either cut it to paste it on another line, or you can just simply click delete and get rid of it. The other way to do that is go to Edit and Delete. It will only delete if the text box is selected and red with the red outline. Now we'll move on to the date time icon. It looks like a calendar and a clock. This gives you a live date and time that continues to automatically update. It will pull this information directly from your current computer's date and time, and it keeps it current with the internal clock in the 990. Right-click on the calendar clock icon. You can either get to this pop-up that way, or you can go to Presetting, Control-D, or click on this date time, and you'll get to the same location. Left-click on the date time format and choose the date and time format that you would like. So you can scroll through, there are a bunch of different options available. If for some reason the layout of the date and time that you want isn't available, you can do a user-defined date and time. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but can send you further information if necessary upon request. Just like the regular text options, if you choose a date and time that has alpha characters in it, you can only use the narrow font option. If you choose an option that is only numbers, you can choose medium or bold font options, as shown here. Okay, I'm just going to pick a date here, and I'm going to say OK. Now to choose more options about your date and time, you will click on the paper with the gear icon, this one right here, or you're going to go to File, Device Settings, Date Time Numberer. If you happen to need a date or time in the future that is automatically updating, that is called date offset or time offset. In our software here, it is called time offset, as you can see here, but it does refer to date and time. You can make 4 unique offsets at a time by using the arrows, these arrows here. You will see that it increases or decreases from 1 to 4 and vice versa. Then you will go in and make the changes within the time offset section, which is right here. The first 4 zeros right here pertain to the date. The second 6 zeros here, separated by colons, represent the time, hour, minute, and second. Any days or time that you add to this section will adjust based on the date and time that is being pulled from your computer. You can also put a minus instead of a plus right here. If you need a past date or time that is automatically updating. At any time, if you click default, it's going to bring you back to the default settings where you have a current live date and time without any offsets. Text for month abbreviations as shown here. You can change this to any 3-letter abbreviation of your choice. Keep in mind, changes that you make to an offset will only work within that specific offset. So you have offset 1, 2, 3, or 4. Everything that you change within these settings will only pertain to one specific offset. So if you need another one, then you'll have to go to 2 and make the changes again. Okay, so let's do an offset example here. Let's add 10 days to the current date. I actually already filled that in, but basically if we had 2 zeros here, we would delete the 2 zeros and add 10. That will be 10 days in the future. And then I also would like to do 2 hours later than it is now. So I'm going to change this to 2. And we're in June right now, so let's just change this to JU. And then we're going to hit OK. You can see I made these changes in time offset 1. Okay, now I'm going to drag down date and time. If I right click on this here, you can see that time offset 1 is selected. It is now June 30th, 2023. However, today is actually June 20th, 2023, and it is showing 10 days in the future. Also, right now it is about 12 p.m. in the afternoon, but since I did the offset of 2 hours, it's showing at 2:12 p.m. To show you the contrasting current date and time, I can pull down a second date and time here. If I right click on it, you'll see I'm also still on time offset 1, but since I didn't make any changes to time offset 2, if I click on that, I'm going to go back to the current date and time, which is 6/20/23, 12:13 p.m. You can mix and match between date, time, text, and number all within one imprint message. So I'm going to delete these now. Now I'm going to discuss the numbering machine icon. That's right here, the numberer. The other option is going to file device settings, date, time, number, just like we did for the date and time. However, I'm going to select the number tab in this case. I forgot one step here. You want to right click on the number right here, and then you can choose narrow, medium, or bold. As always, narrow is alphanumeric option, medium and bold are numbers only. Then once you select which one you want, you hit OK, and we will go back to our device settings and back to numberer. Just like with date and time, there are 4 number preset options that you can create at a time, showing here 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can make those changes within these arrows. The options are as follows. Under settings, you're going to see step width. This indicates counting by 1s, 2s, 3s, etc. Choose the interval in which you want your machine to sequence. Repetitions. This indicates repetition of each number prior to sequencing to the next number, meaning that the number that is set will remain the same for the chosen amount of imprints prior to it continuing to count on. Counting direction backwards. This indicates the direction in which the machine counts. Default is counting upwards, 1, 2, 3, 4. However, if you choose downwards, it will count 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. Leading zeros. You can choose to show or hide zeros prior to the number that you're printing. Number circle, right here. Minimal. This is the minimum value in the circuit. Maximal. This is the maximum value that the printer will count through until it gets to the last number, and then it will loop back to the minimal value that you've chosen. Numbering machine status. This indicates the number that the machine will start printing at. In this example, if I change this minimal to 7, and then I can change maximal to 10, and then numbering machine status, I could start this at 8. So in this case, it would count 8, 9, 10, and then it would loop back to the number 7. If I wanted to do 1 through 10, I would make the minimal 1. In this case, now it would start on 8, count 8, 9, 10, and then it would loop back to 1, etc. You can make any changes that you would like within that loop. If you click default, it's going to bring you back to the original settings, just like this. You'll see that everything will change back. So I'm going to do one more example here. We're going to start it at 8. And I'm going to say OK. You can see that I've made the changes here to number 1. I'm going to say OK. And then I will go to the number icon and drag and drop it down. You can see that it's starting on 8. And that is because number 1 is chosen. If I choose number 2, it's going to start on 0 because this is the default, and it's going to show a whole bunch of space here. As it continues to count, then it will add additional numbers. I can show you one other thing here. If I add leading zeros and drag down, you can see the leading 0 here. This is only 1 through 10, so there's only 2 places. If I change this to number 2, I didn't add the leading zeros for number 2, so I'm going to go back in here and go back to my number. I'm going to go back to number 2. I'm going to click on my leading zeros, say OK, and now you can see there's leading zeros. Let's go through the settings for the menu at the top of the screen now. We have File, we have Edit, we have View, we have Presettings, and Help. I've discussed a couple of these so far, and I'm just going to quickly go through some of the other details. So if I click on File, you'll see some of these options. The new ones that we have not discussed are Bluetooth, right here, as well as last opened. These are the previously saved files, and the ones that you've just most recently opened, you can easily find them, click and open them up. A quick note on Bluetooth. In order to transfer and upload using Bluetooth, your computer needs to have Bluetooth on it, and you need to enable Bluetooth on the 990, which I have another video for, and I'm happy to send to you. I'm not going to show that here, but happy to send those instructions at a later date. One other thing here, this is exit, that closes the program completely, or you can use this X up here to close the program completely as well. Now if we go to the Edit drop-down, you can see we have Delete, Copy, Paste, and Cut. Those all will have to do with your information that you've input on line or 1 or 2, and it will directly pertain to the text box that is selected. In this case, I only have 1, so you can see it's selected red. If I drag down a second one, now this one is not selected red. So anything that I do here is going to affect what I have on line 2 because that is the text box that is selected currently. The view drop down here, we have a couple different options. We have language, so you're able to select from a few different languages, and that will change the language that you have in your menu. Unit, this has to do with the ruler that you have here, right here. And you can change those units from pixels to millimeters to inches. The next one we have is presettings. These have to do with text, date, time, or numberer, and those correspond to these 3 icons right here: text, date, time, or numberer. Last one that we have here is help. Help opens up an index of some common questions and instructions. You can search or look through the menu. So we can open this up. And then, so now we can have this nice and open. Then you can go to search. You can search for certain topics, or you can see an index, and it will explain certain things that I've gone over in this video as well. And here's the full contents. The other thing that you will see in help is info. This displays some basic information about the PCset software and the machine that you have connected to the software. That includes what version of the software you're running, the serial number of the machine, as well as what firmware version you're running on your printer. So right here, I'm running firmware version 2.3, and my serial number of my machine is 867. And let's see here, we have the PCset version 2.2. The last thing I'm going to cover in this video is how to actually transfer information to the machine, as well as upload an already saved imprint back to the machine. Transferring to the machine. Once you've created a layout that you're satisfied with, you will need to transfer the information to the unit. Make sure your machine is connected via USB to micro USB, the cord that it comes with, or via Bluetooth. Check to see if the icon at the top of the software is lit up. So I'm going to show again here. Right now you can see the transfer icon is illuminated. If I unplug it, it is now grayed out. When I replug it, it is available again. And you can also draw your attention over here to online via USB. That would say Bluetooth if I was connected via Bluetooth. When I unplug it, it's going to say it's offline. To make the transfer, it's very easy. All you have to do is left click on the icon that looks like the machine that has the green arrow that's facing to the right, and you'll see the progress bar light up, and it will say transfer is successful if it is, and then all you have to do is click OK. That is going to delete everything, all the slots and anything else that you already have on the machine, because if you haven't pre-programmed all of the numbers right here, that means they're actually empty. So the one that has the star, that has information in it, all of these are actually empty. So I'm actually transferring empty messages back to the machine. You can see the progress bar. As you saw, it turned green, hits 100%, gives you the pop-up, transfer successful. Now technically all you have to do is add in the cartridge, which I also have a video of, a different video, and you're ready to print. Quick note on the cartridge, if you are storing it correctly. It should be stored with the little red plastic clip that it comes with for the quick drying inks, or in a plastic Ziploc bag for the water-based ink, so that your ink stays fresh when it's not in use. Please do not leave it in your machine. It will dry out and you're going to have issues with printing, or it might not work at all. As I pointed out a few minutes ago, the online or offline indication here at the bottom of the software, it can also display some other important information about the health of your machine. If there's an error or any other issue, it might display there as well. So it's always a good idea to plug in your machine and check the bottom bar, as it could provide you with some valuable information. The last thing that I'll go over here is uploading information back to the machine here. I'm going to delete this just so you can see we're starting out with an empty slot. If I go here to upload, this will pull the information directly from the machine back to the software, and then if I double click, I can make any changes that I want. And then I could retransfer this to my machine. It's as simple as that. You can always click on the help button or search for your question or check your manual for further assistance, as well as give us a call. This concludes the PCset tutorial for your JetStamp 990. This is Stephanie Neer from AMI Reiner. I hope you found this technical video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we look forward to assisting you with your marking and coding projects. Thanks for watching.